Hi, it's Pete Moore, one of PCM GUNS on this very cold but bright day. What I have here is something a little bit different and perhaps the least regarded straight pull rifle from the European manufacturers. I say least regarded not because of its quality, because it's a very quality rifle and it has a place. It's just that guns like the Blaser R8, Merkel Helix tend to get the centre of attention. The rifle is based on the Browning BAR, Browning automatic rifle, which is, I think, the most popular semi-auto rifle in Europe. We don't think about it much over here because we can't own semi-auto rifles. But Browning have seen the light because basically legislation in Europe is aiming at self-loading rifles. I don't think they like civilian hunters using them, which is a problem because for driven bore shooting and stuff like that, when you need maybe quite a bit of firepower, I don't mean that in a trite way, but you know, there's lots of game running and you need a rifle you can operate quickly and perhaps has a reasonably high capacity, then that's where the semi-autos really come in. I wouldn't pick a semi-auto for deer hunting over here. Couldn't see the point of it because it's all like with a bolt gun, one shot, maybe two if you're unlucky. But here, if you get a pod of pigs come out, you can hammer away at them, as I've done when I've been over hunting in various countries. And the benefits of a large capacity magazine at times is certainly attractive. So what Browning did, they rethought the BAR. Very simply, they took off everything that makes it a semi-auto. The BAR is a gas-operated gun. It looks identical to this, apart from obviously this strange cocking handle here. And instead, the whole gun is manual. All you do, that's cock, bang, bang, which you can see, which means the gun basically reloads itself to this springs inside here that shut the action for you. So you can keep it in the shoulder and just cycle it as your tracking game, which is the beauty of it. It has a few little different things. It doesn't have a safety catch. It has a decocker, stroke cocker like a Blaser R8. And this is the second generation guns. The first ones came out in 2014 and they were quite a novelty. But by that time, most people in the UK understood about straight pull rifles because a lot of people use AR-15s, which are the same thing. It's a semi-automatic rifle that has been built purposely to be manually operated. So it's quite legal, it's a section 1. It's not like some lash up. And that's where the Maral comes in. This is the big game, which is my rifle. Now, people know me, know I don't really like fancy guns and woodwork, but I was mad keen to get a Maral for boar hunting, and this was available, so I took it. And I can live with this fancy engraving. Yes, it's quite pretty, but not for me. And also, this is quite quality wood. I think it's grade 3 walnut. Again, wasted on someone like me. About 4 months later, they introduced a rifle called the Compo, or Composite, which came in black or synthetic stock with an adjustable comb. I wish I'd waited, but you know, when you want something, you just can't wait. But, say, it's fast, reasonably accurate. I wouldn't say it's the most accurate rifle in the world, but if you're busting pigs and things, then it's all quite close. And this will shoot round about an inch, so it's not too bad. But its real function is, it's quick, it's handy, and you've got a good capacity on board. As I said before, this is a second generation rifle. The Maral has moved on to the third generation called the 4X. It's basically the same rifle, though the furniture has changed a little bit. But they used to come in this lockable travel case. Combination locks here, airline safe, and just pop it up like so. As you can see, inside is the butt, barreled action with fore end, and space for a scope. All nicely padded, so it will definitely suffer the rigours of any miserable baggage controllers. Okay, all you do to put the gun together is quite simple. Take out the butt, take out the barreled action. We'll just shut this so it's easier. In here is a captive screw. You just line up these two so it goes in like so, and then Just wind this screw in, give it a tweak up, And that's it assembled. As you can see, the beauty of this is the butt comes off, so you have a very compact carry case, which is great. As I said, the Maral offers a hybrid action. Forward just comes off, it's held on by a screw. Here are the action bars here. Inside this block here is a pair of what they call tensator springs. Think of it as a pull-out rule. So basically, what you do to operate it, you pull back and release, which chambers the first round, and every time you fire, you pull it back. If you look up the front, you can see the tensator springs coming back and gathering strength for the forward stroke. Clever idea, and it works really well. On the big game, iron sights are standard, and what Browning includes is what they call a Batu rear sight. You can see there's this long ramp with a white line up it and a Dayglow green high-vis rear sight. The white line's designed to draw your eye and help aiming on moving game better. That's all fixed. Up front, you have a red insert, which is adjustable for windage and elevation. It's all very close, I mean 25-50 yards for iron sights. All Marals come with the top of the receiver drilled and tapped for standard bases, so you could get a low Picatinny or you could get a couple of Weaver bases there for scope mounting. But what Browning have got as well, which is, I think, is an excellent QD system, it's their Nomad. It's made by a German company called Dentler, who specialise in QD mounts. So if I'm going to go deer hunting normal, then there's this foot here which is adjustable for height, which means you can adjust the tension. And a lug here and a lug here that engage with these. So what you do, you drop it on, make sure everything's on and engaged, rotate the T key, and your 3-12 by 56 scope is on and ready to rock and roll. Conversely, if you want to change, simply move the T key. This is a red dot. The base is exactly the same, you just adjust it up, but in this case it has a Picatinny rail on it rather than rings. What I've done here, I've fitted it up in a long single 30mm mount for this red dot I use. Again, apart from that, exactly the same. Drop it on, make sure it's engaged, rotate your key, and now you have a red dot for in the woods, 25-50 yard shooting, quick reaction, both eyes open. You can get different height rings, you can get different diameter rings to suit you, but it is a very clever system. The other thing I love about the Maral is you get a choice of magazine. All it does, the mag just, you nose it into the front, lock it in, and it's there. Then you press this catch, like so, and it pops. For normal use, most people will use a 4-rounder. I know people have got these, they haven't bought this, but they've bought a couple of 4-rounders, so if you do run out, you can quickly do a mag change. Unlike the BAR that had the traditional crossbolt safety at the rear of the trigger guard, the Maral's done away with that. It's still there, but it's just blanked off, you can't use it. Instead, they go for a decocker. Cock the rifle like so, and everything's cocked, the hammer is cocked, but until you press this catch up here, it won't fire, because that then tensions the spring, and each time you then fire, it recocks. Also, which is again, it's a nice feature, on the last round, action holds open, so you can just drop the mag, put another one in. And if you want to decock, say you've got one up spout, you just press this button here and it slides back down, and the gun is then completely safe. Operation is by this rather large dogleg J lever. It's been like this on the first two models. The rifle, which is called the 4X, which is the latest version of the Maral, has done away with this. Instead, they have a handle that's built lower down onto the body. Comes down like a normal bolt, and it's just as handy, but there's less to catch and go wrong. But all you do, pull back, release, and it's handy enough. You can get it there, and it's quite strong. In France, a few years back with Browning, and we had it down the range of the Maral, and they wanted to see how many rounds it could fire, just as like a destruction test. And I think we got through about 300 rounds on one of these guns. It was so hot, it was boiling ice. But this cocking system still worked. The bolt knob stayed on. But I do prefer the 4X's system, which is much more fared in. There's still plenty to get hold of. And it just seems that little bit handier. Depending on model, barrel lengths differ. On my big game, the tube is 22 inches, which I think is a bit short for 30-06, but they only had an extra half inch on for the 300 Win Mag version. Again, it's this European preoccupation with short barrels. As you can see, it's fluted for 2/3 of its length. I'm not sure if that really makes a difference, but it looks cool, and Browning make quite a big thing of it. But basically you can go Nordic to a 20 inch, you can get in 308, which is quite nice, and say you can go up to 22.5 inch for the Magnum caliber. You also get QD sling studs at the tip of the fore end and under the butt, which again is a nice feature. But they've been placed just by the 3 models of the 4X range, which is the Nordic, which is black synthetic or brown synthetic, the Hunter, which is wood, and the deluxe version, which has a sort of a fancy nickel type receiver and quality timber. Okay, let's fire a few shots just for the crack. We've got the 10 round mag here. Lock it in. Decocker is off. Pull back, release, push forward. That was fun. So I should have worn gloves, a little bit slippy, but that's 10 rounds of 30-06, which is a lot of firepower, as you can imagine. You may not need it, but it's there if you want to go that route. So that is Browning's Maral. I say this is, I think Browning have discontinued the second series of guns, so it's the 4X now if you want one, but there's no real changes. They look a little bit different. There's less caliber options, a few things like that. The QD scope mount doesn't come with it, you can buy it, and I would say if you're going to get a Maral for driven or for general hunting, then I would definitely get the Nomad mount with a couple of bases so you can switch from whatever you want to do. Not everybody's cup of tea, and far from essential to the UK hunter, but so it'll shoot about 1 inch. From my experimentation, it tends to like the lighter bullets, 150s, but depends what you use it for. If it's shooting 1 inch, then it's doing okay, you can shoot anything you like with it. I think it's a really nice rifle, but very specialised. I don't use it that much, but there's something about it. When you've got the Maral, you really feel like you've got something in your hands. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. Tell your friends if you liked it. Talk to me. Usual thing, support the channel. And it's pmoore.shootingsports@gmail.com. And I'll see you later with some more fun. Can you get more fun than this? I don't know. Good and safe shooting.